First of all, I want to thank Deputy Sherlock. Minister, today a lot of us were in the committee where Kieran Mulvey came in, and Kieran Mulvey is a straight talker. I would have huge respect for him, but I feel that he got a phone call the day before, and he said it today, the day before the announcement was made. Yes, there's an office in Offaly, but it's like going out in an All-Ireland pitch. The captain is going out, but the rest of the team doesn't seem to be there at the moment behind the man. And in fairness to anybody that's taken on this project, they need a huge team behind them. They need the resources, they need the funding, and they need to make sure, and the government needs to make sure that whatever resources is required, that it's given to that man. We need to look at ideas, Minister, like Lamass years ago, I think in Shannon, when there was a zone or a tax incentive area given that you could build around it. And there's 8 counties, Minister, involved in what I would call the Midlands, including Galway and Roscommon. Deputy Murphy is in the same area as myself, and where they supplied peat as well, and they cannot be the forgotten people of this either. But there's 8 counties, and if you look at the fund, it's about 1.2 million, including paying the wages of the team that's being put together. You'd nearly get it in a town and village renewal project. Each area would. And I think, Minister, we need to make an honest effort, because at the moment there's about 400 people gone on board in the moment. There are also temporary workers. The only solution so far was just redundancy. There was no strategic plan on how we were going. And Minister, you know, we need to put the likes of the IDA. We've talked about the likes of Knock Airport, and there's an area there that needs investment. But the IDA should allocate somebody to that Midlands transition area, as well as Knock Airport, the way that we boost. And in fairness to Mr Mulvey today, he made it very clear. He says Dublin is getting overcrowded. We need to get these businesses down, but we need to put in the money into it. In the line of mitigation measures, Minister, we are still facing the scenario around this country that there's 6% of hedgerows that's around this country hasn't even been included in our mitigation plan. And that is phenomenal when you look at Bournemouth or the Quilcha having about 7% of the landmass. Right around in every farm, there's all types of trees in the farms growing, and not one is put in as a mitigation measure. The other thing, Minister, and you know, I've put this forward a few times, little shelter bells, say up to 50 acres if you've done a half an acre, and up to 100 acres, 3/4, and if you've done an acre and a half or 2 acres or 200 acres. Overnight or over 1 year, we could, given the incentives to farmers, without stopping them farming, we could put in probably 130,000 acres of whatever type of trees they wanted. That's, you know, I'm not saying if they want to do broadleaves, fine. One time ago, we had shelter bells, and the EU paid the farmers to get a dozer and blow them out along with ditches. And now we're looking to see can we get them back again. So that makes fairly good economics. But you'd get about 55 to 60,000 hectares in 1 year, if we had the money for it. And I don't know whether we have the money or not, but that could be the stumbling blocks. But what we need to do on that is make sure that we haven't someone with a satellite in saying, oh, this branch of tree is sticking out, so we'll block your BPS or we'll stop your ANC. There needs to be a bit of thinking that can go on that will actually be a phenomenal success overnight without impeding the farmers in agriculture. But the one thing, Minister, that has been done, and it's going to be a problem in rural Ireland, the carbon tax is a problem for the simple reason there isn't the infrastructure of, be it rail or be it buses, in the rural areas, and they are going to be disproportionately, in my opinion, affected. There's things like anaerobic digestion. We should be looking at that. Solar, no problem. People have no problem in looking at different options, but you have to give it the kickstart that's required. And on top of that, you know, go to agriculture, have a look at the announcement this week. We've said we're going to stay on the same old ding-dong that we're on in the single farm payment, that the new system of convergence to make sure that the smaller farmer on the smaller acres might come up a bit and try and make them more viable. We're not looking at it. And like, if we keep, you know, not looking at these things, and it's the farmers around this country, even though they get kicked day in, day out by media and everyone, they are going to be the saviours of the people in the cities. And it's not recognised. And it's about time that they start being shown a bit of respect right around this country.
Thank you, Deputy.